Welcome back, let's get into the movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Foot Clan, a heinous criminal organization led by the ruthless Shredder, has been terrorizing New York City. Master Splinter, a rat sensei, has been training his 4 sons beneath the sewers until they are ready to take on Shredder and become heroes. Meanwhile, reporter April O'Neil questions a dock worker about chemical materials in which the Foot Clan may be involved. She and her cameraman Vernon Fennick go into the city to do a puff piece on trampoline fitness after not receiving any responses. April wishes she could tell better stories, but Vern assures her that some people enjoy these types of stories in the same way that they enjoy foam on coffee. The dock worker informs April that something is being brought in by the docks. She rides her bike there at night to find the Foot Clan preparing to bring something in, led by their Lieutenant Karai. April is trying to record footage on her phone when a shadowy figure appears and begins eliminating the foot soldiers one by one. April recognizes the symbol left behind by the figure. She tells her roommate Taylor and her boss Bernadette Thompson about it, but no one seems to believe her or care what she has to say. A man with his hands tied behind his back is attacked by a foot soldier, but the man easily defeats the soldier. The Shredder is the name of this man. Karai informs him of the vigilante activity and the fact that these non-human creatures must be stopped. To bring down the Foot Clan, the NYPD team up with Sax of Sax Group Incorporated. April runs into Sax, and we learn that her father worked on a project with Sax before he died. April and Vern are driving home after the event when they see terrified New Yorkers scrambling all over the streets. April exits the van to investigate, only to be apprehended by a foot soldier and thrown in with other hostages. Karai summons the vigilantes to appear or the foot soldiers will execute the hostages. The Ninja Turtles film them and then ride the subway to find the Foot Clan and easily beat them down, freeing the hostages in the process. April dashes out the door and up a fire escape to find the turtles on the roof. She takes a picture, which surprises them. She faints after being grabbed and confronted by the turtles. When she awakens, she encounters the 4 heroes in a half-shell: the leader Leonardo, the astute Donatello, the rebellious Raphael, and the goofball Michelangelo. Donnie wipes April's phone, and Leo returns it to her, warning her not to tell anyone about them or they'll find her. Mikey reiterates this, and it's clear he's drawn to April. The turtles flee, but April captures a photo of them from a distance. April rushes home and opens a box containing documents, photos, and videos about Project Renaissance, on which her father and Sax were working. April sees a video of herself as a child recording in her father's lab, pre-mutation, using a mutagen on the turtles and Splinter. She gave them all names and fed them pizza, which they all enjoyed. She even recognizes the earlier symbol as meaning family. The turtles try to return to their lair without waking Splinter. He eventually captures them and punishes them by making them balance on certain items until they tell him why they were out on the streets. Splinter humiliates Mikey by luring him with pizza. Mikey admits they were fighting the Foot Clan, and when he mentions April's name, Splinter becomes concerned and orders the turtles to find her. April continues her investigation into the turtles' past, and she tells Thompson about what she witnessed the night before. Unfortunately, this leads to her dismissal. Vern then takes her to the Sax estate so she can personally question Sax about the project he and Dr. O'Neil were working on. She shows Sax the turtles' photo, and he takes her into his room to tell her about his childhood in Japan, including being abandoned by his father and discovering a legend about a ruthless warlord in the area. He hands April his business card. April logs onto her computer to check on the turtles in the subway, only to discover that Donnie hacked her computer and sent her an address to meet them at. She goes alone, and the turtles take her into their lair. There, she meets Splinter, who remembers April before he mutated. He tells her that her father was working with Sax and Shredder, but he discovered that Shredder was planning something evil, so Dr. O'Neil burned down the lab, at the cost of his own life. April rescued Splinter and the turtles and took them to the sewers for safety. The mutagen eventually took effect, transforming Splinter into a walking and talking rat who raised the turtles. The boys were always curious about life above the surface, but Splinter kept them at bay by teaching himself ninjutsu before passing it down to the turtles. He armed them with their trademark weapons when they were ready, Leo with his katanas, Donnie with his bow staff, Raph with his sai, and Mikey with his nunchucks. Splinter expresses gratitude to April for her protection. Sax truly works for Shredder, and they come by his armor, which has been upgraded. The Foot Clan is also able to pinpoint the location of the lair. They infiltrate the location, setting off an alarm that alerts the turtles. The foot soldiers break in and blow up the place with a bomb. Splinter joins the turtles in their fight against the soldiers. Mikey takes April to a safe location before returning to the fight. Shredder enters the lair, fully armored and armed with multiple knives on each arm. He squares off against Splinter, who dodges Shredder's knives and lands a few solid blows. Splinter closes the doors to protect his sons, but they raise them just in time to see Shredder grab Splinter and drag him before the turtles, threatening to kill him unless they lay down their weapons. They do so, but Shredder still hits Splinter hard enough to kill him, while the soldiers cattle prod Leo, Donnie, and Mikey into submission before blowing up the lair. Raph emerges from the ruins and joins April in burying Splinter. He begs Raph to save his brothers and put an end to Shredder. Raph prepares to spring into action. April requests that Vern drive her and Raph back to the Sachs estate. Vern notices Raph and, despite his shock, agrees to drive them. Sachs confines Leo, Donnie, and Mikey in cages beneath his house in order to extract mutagen containing blood. His and Shredder's plan is to infect the city with a toxin that will quarantine it, and then seize control of everyone with the mutagen to use as a cure. Vern rams through the gate, running over foot soldiers. Raph rushes out of the van to find his brothers. April and Vern follow. Raph fights Shredder alone, while April attempts to free the others by injecting them with adrenaline. This allows them to break out and assist Raph in his fight against Shredder before the villain flees. Karai and the foot soldiers pursue the heroes as they hijack a truck. The soldiers used an RPG to hit the truck, causing it to slide down the mountain. The turtles slide down the mountain on their shells, slamming into or flipping over the Foot Clan trucks. Donnie calculates a large drop that is happening right now. Karai latches onto Leo as he attempts to save April and Vern, causing her truck to flip over and crash into a tree. Raph arrives just in time to pick up Leo, April, and Vern. They then travel to the city to confront Shredder. Shredder and Sachs return to Sachs Tower in order to release the toxin. While the turtles battle Shredder, April and Vern go in search of the mutagen. April secures the mutagen while Vern knocks Sachs out, despite Sachs shooting Vern in the arm. The turtles attack Shredder, but he proves to be a formidable foe. The turtles then collaborate on a move that allows them to push Shredder off the roof. As Shredder pulls himself up, Donnie goes to stop the toxin's release. Donnie is able to stop the release with a second to spare thanks to the efforts of Leo, Raph, and Mikey. The turtles then try to stop Shredder from destroying the top of the tower. April gets to the roof and shows Shredder the mutagen to distract him. The top of the tower collapses as Shredder lunges at April, throwing them both off. The turtles try to save April while they cling to life. Shredder attempts to finish them off, but Leo strikes him with his katana, causing Shredder to lose his balance and fall to the ground. The tower's top collapses, taking April and the turtles with it. Raph admits his bravado was motivated by fear for his brothers, and he admits he loves them just as he realizes they have landed safely. Mikey notices him crying, but Raph dismisses it. They go back to the sewers. The citizens then gathered around Shredder, who moved his hand slightly with mutagen on his fingers. The turtles obtain a mutagen in order to resurrect Splinter. He is very proud of his sons. April later runs into Vern, who is showing off his new car. The turtles arrive in their own vehicle to thank April for her assistance. Mikey then inadvertently launches a rocket, blowing up Vern's car. The turtles offer to drive them, but April insists on taking the subway. Mikey sings Happy Together to April as they drive away. She beams, marking the end of the movie.